the other pillar of Read India is Mr. Vikram Bakshi. The journey could not be better, described more better with all the people sitting over here. So now I would like to call upon Jay sir to please share his vision or his memory of Read, how we've traveled so far and how we travel further from here. So please sir, join me on this.
Thank you, Smita. Dr. Sharma, Kalpana ji, Sandhu sir, Geeta ji, thanks for joining us at the dais. Thank you all our partners who have joined us, travelled from across the country. और मेरे सेंटर के कोऑर्डिनेटर्स एकदम पीछे मुझे दिख रहा है चंद्र प्रकाश जी गीजगर से, possibly our oldest partner. Thank you, and thank you everybody for joining us today. Smita has given me a task of taking you through my vision into the past and into the future, almost like Sanjay from Mahabharata. You know, Sanjay, Dhritarashtra couldn't see, so Sanjay described the war. तो मैं अगर मुझको खुद को संजय के हिसाब से देखूं तो first memory of Read comes with the founder, Tony Nubayer, who passed away very recently. She was introduced to me by a past colleague of Smita's. Smita was working as a very young person, 17 years back, she's still very young, at a microfinance organization. And that colleague of hers said that, hey, we know you're doing something in a village school called Katapuri Government High School. Can we come and see? So I was then the employee of one of those large MNCs, abhi hai nahi, uska naam tha Nokia. And I said, aa jaiye. And we took them to show a computer class in a village school. And that experience was quite an interesting one because she had come from Nepal, where she was setting up libraries as a donation to the people who were coming in as Sherpas. So initially the thought was that library banayenge to educate the children of the Sherpas. And when I showed them this computer center, they said, oh wow, you can have computer centers also in village schools. And that's where the vision started. So right from get-go, you will see all our libraries have computers. And when we started calling them CLRCs, Community Learning and Resource Centers, they also started having skilling pieces. So I remember Geejgar specifically because that was the first project roundup that one created at Read. So Geejgar में हम जब गए थे, and as you all know, each library has a library management committee which is coming out of the village. So community से, ताकि the ownership is always with the community because this is a community asset which is being created and over a period of time sustained by the community. Initially we are there to provide the support. And I remember that discussion which happened between what will be put in place to as a sustainable activity to maintain the library. So library तो हम बना के चले जाएंगे, उसके बाद sustain कैसे करेंगे? So that's where the sustainable livelihood piece comes in. And I remember the debate with at Geejgar कि पहले हम भैंस पालेंगे और भैंस के दूध बेच के हम library को maintain करेंगे. And then in the panchayat meeting, one lady stood up and said that आप लोग तो, and there were a lot of men in that meeting, आप लोग तो सब Monday को, meeting happening on Sunday, आप तो Monday को चले जाओगे जयपुर, तो भैंस को पालेंगे कौन? So they said that no, we are not going to do that. We want something which is a bit more skilled. So that's how the sewing machines that you see in every one of our centers got in. Because the women said that we are willing to sew. And one of our early partners was Walmart. So when Walmart came and said that, hey, you know something, we'll give you waste cloth and can the women of Geejgar sew bags for us? We will buy it from you and we will sell it to our consumers at our Easy Day stores. So overnight, we had 60 machines in the Geechgar center providing livelihoods. So our entire logic changed. Initially, the thought was that libraries and sustainable livelihoods. Now sustainable livelihoods became the center. And over the last 10 years, and I'm talking about, this journey I'm describing is from 2007 to 2010-12. 12 के बाद मुझे ये भी याद है कि जब consultations हो रहा था section 135 लेके, we had a small conclave, Geeta ji will remember, Smita will remember, with Dr. Bhaskar Chatterjee, who was the founding Secretary General of the National Foundation for CSR at the Indian Institute of Corporate Affairs. So he came and actually presented how the CSR Act is going to work for projects like this. So three things which even Geeta ji mentioned, which came up, was that the board of the company will have to decide what are the causes. Basis the causes, the CSR projects and programs will have to be designed. And in the CSR Act, the disclosure that is required is that 2% norm. Are you contributing 2% of your average 3 years profit on what projects and what programs? Now this was the compliance part. Then comes the question of where will your project be and how will you monitor and evaluate the projects. So the key phases which comes in, as Geeta ji mentioned, is where is the community. So you have to do a baseline assessment. And all our partners will know this, कि हम उसी communities में काम करते हैं, where the baseline for that community is that, okay, we have that adequate number of people who will benefit from setting up a library with a skilling center which will impact their livelihoods. So it then becomes, now it's become a dual play, right? So we initially said we'll have libraries, now we're saying we'll have libraries with sustainable livelihoods to support the libraries. And then we will monitor and evaluate, and then how do you know you have succeeded? So you will present that data to the company saying that this is the movement that we've done, and at some point of time say that, okay, I was looking for Saksharta or Shashaktikaran as outcomes. I was looking for increasing or doubling the women's income in this community, and I have succeeded in doing so, and they can sustain on their own. So that becomes the exit criteria. And the good part is that when we look at it from a 17-year long window, and specifically in the last 10 years of having the CSR Act, and next year we'll be doing an event on 10 years together of the CSR implementation, we will actually be able to see where we've come with many of our centers who have matured becoming partners again. So the partnership model is, baked into our play. So there is CSR partnerships, philanthropic partnerships, project partnerships, knowledge partnerships, and community partnerships. So there are 3 levels of partnerships that we're talking about. And the beauty is just like, we have this example, and we've been missing Dayal sir here. So very responsible people who are in government have joined us on their personal capacity and given it direction in their communities. So, ab aage. So this is basically the journey been in the last 17 years. The last 10 years has been an excellent journey where I would say that, the sole leadership of Geeta ji and the team with Smita who have worked under her leadership have actually taken us to a different level altogether. We were just in a meeting yesterday and day before, and I was looking at how are we doing. In 2014, we had around 20 centers, and 20 centers which had across the country, so Manipur, Sundarbans, Haryana, two in Haryana. Now we have 65 centers. So it's like a 3x growth. And one of the key ways that we look at where are we is how many books do we have. So when we started, in fact it's there in our trust deed, कि ट्रस्ट में लिखा हुआ है कि एक किताब एक इंसान एक गांव. So one book, one person, one village. So if you're saying that okay, this village has 2,000 people, then we'll have 2,000 books. You'll be happy to know that Read India has 85,228 books in the 65 libraries as of day before yesterday, which is 14th of March. So Kalpana ji, thanks to your direction and Dr. Goswami's direction, we've actually are on a very, very sustainable and stable journey on keeping the library movement alive. Now, why is the library important? आज के तारीख में तो सबके हाथ में मोबाइल फ़ोन है, लाइब्रेरी का क्या ज़रूरत? तो ज़रूरत यहाँ पे आता है कि लाइब्रेरी functions as a safe space. Safe space बोले तो I can see Shashi sitting there, and Shashi is, I'll talk about Shashi in a bit, but Shashi is now training women on skills in a public toilet facility which is run by PVR Nest in partnership with the Municipal Corporation of Delhi. I had the privilege of visiting the place a couple of few weeks back, and within the space of a public laboratory, there's a computer lab, there's a sewing class, there's a beautician training center, and there's a library in the building next to it, with a space, covered space for people to actually learn various things, from soft skills to digital skills to sewing to etiquette. And there is a list of the skills that the women of that community want. Why do they want it there? Because that particular public toilet serves 3 slum clusters around Kirti Nagar. And most of the women come from these areas where घर पे तो छोड़ो, बाहर ट्यूबवेल का जो पानी है, that is not usable for a clean bath experience. So they come to the public toilet to do it. And I'll go even further on how it works, because Geeta ji ने वहाँ पे I saw एक register है. Register में whoever is using the toilet puts in, it's a physical register, puts in their name and their signature, and then the supervisor puts in a grade. So I was very curious that why are you putting a grade here? So there is a escalation. So on a score of 1 to 5, if you have left the toilet clean after your use, you get access to training facilities. So if you are on 5 for say 3 weeks, then you get opportunity to learn digital skills. And this sort of motivation, this incentivization of good skills, good manners, good etiquette, good usage of toilets, I haven't seen this before. And I have to thank Geeta ji for thinking this up. She also got them to write a Swachhata promise, which everybody has to use. So this is the way it works. Okay. Now think about it. It's a MCD, Municipal Corporation of Delhi facility, in partnership with PVR Nest, with Read as the knowledge partner. We are providing the libraries and the training, and this is where I'll bring in Sashi's story. I met Sashi for the first time in Wazirabad, maybe about 10 years back. I remember she would pause. She came from a very troubled situation, and she came to the center because this was a safe space for her. For 4 or 5 hours that she was at the center, Shashi could learn something and be by herself with other women who were like her. Cut to 2 years to 2019, year before the lockdown. Shashi is the head of the Wazirabad center. She's managing the entire center. The center has a library, as a library भी है, early child development school भी है, stitching center भी है, beautician training भी है. Cut to 2 हफ्ते पहले, Sashi is, and I took a picture and posted on my blog, Sashi is the head trainer at the PVR Nest MCD facility for beauty. So this is the transformation that I'm seeing. There are other stories here. Some of them, अच्छा नाम ना लेके बताता हूँ. This is one person who decided she didn't want to get married, and she came and hid in the Reed library. She was discovered the next day, and she said, "I'm not going home. Can I stay here?" So then there was a lot of calls. Geeta ji calling me saying, "Can we do something like this?" I said that if you can give her work to do, then why not? This person makes her the library her second home or the first home, and in a few years she becomes a brand champion. She is not only leading the library, she is also teaching people. Meanwhile, she's also got herself a double MA. So, just following this Chatham House rules, I'm not taking the name, but there are these kind of transformational stories. Now, Smita asked me to just share with you the vision for the future and also what are the lessons we are taking out from the past. So if I was to look at just the last 1 year, from last March till now, I have been to 4 centers. The first one was a center near Patiala with a partner called Prabhasra. They run a very large shelter home for abandoned people as well as for mentally ill and disabled people. We've just helped them with setting up a library, a computer center and a skilling center. But the interesting part is that, you know, in all our communities we haven't really looked at mental health. And that's one of the things that I committed to Prabhasra, that we would like to leverage your expertise in these issues, these areas, because we focused on creating a safe space for knowledge. But the other thing which has come out of COVID is that what you know about the world and what you know about yourself and how do you manage the consequences of the world within yourself is very important. And that's one of the things one would like to look at in terms of how do we improve the mental health of the communities that we serve. The next place that I got a chance to visit was a Coforge community library, which I would encourage all of you to go and see, because that is the state of the art of libraries in India and possibly the world. And that is completely out of the leadership of Geeta, guidance of Kalpana ji, Smita and the team. It's a fabulous place. I definitely think each of you should go and visit it.
I would like to request Aditi and Agam to stand here and just introduce yourself for managing that beautiful library.
Aditi and Agam, fantastic. And so these are people, I mean, this is an exceptional piece of work which has happened. The third I mentioned was the PVR Nest Garima Greh, where they've created an approach of wash champions, water and safety and hygiene champions, turning into Kalakars. So Kala is an acronym. There is Shashi and her team. Knowledge and learning assistants, Kalakars. So great to see you. And the fourth center I went to is Geechgar. I went there with Rajesh ji, and Chandraprakash ji treated us to a beautiful visit, accompanied by his home-cooked dal bati churma. It's must-have. But what's great about Geechgar is that it's also going to be the first independent community that we want to set up. Geechgar was the first library which we set up, Greenfield. It's where the Walmart project sewing machines are there. We've, are these from Gijgar? So these shawls are from Gijgar. So we've managed to, over the years, able to build a certain set of expertise over there. Now, how do we build expertise? Now, one of the authors popular authors, had put a 10,000 hour rule. 10,000 hours, if you do anything consistently, you will become an expert in it. 10,000 hours, lagbhag, le lo, if you work consistently 8 ghanta per day, it will take you 3 years. If you are a woman in a rural setting where you are managing your household and farm responsibilities and then coming to the center, maybe 3 to 4 hours a day, 6 years, max. And that's the transformation I saw at Gijgar. The quality of the fabric, the kind of work that they're doing, and I'm sure that is a learning for all of us. Now, the effort will be to enable them to run this as their own enterprise, because now they need to get wings to fly. So, basis these 4 visits and the thoughts that one had, one of the things that one wants to build on, and which I told Geeta ji also, is हमारे लिए ना महिला first है. If you look at it, look around the room. Why? Because community, if you want to take the community first approach, women come first. Women are the core networkers. They are the people who hold family together. They are the people who hold the community together. And even last year when I saw women collaborating in places like Nora, it was a fantastic experience where we saw that they came together and jointly agreed to do something which sustained and stayed. Why do I bring this up? Because there is a massive migration which still continues. Men are still migrating out of rural settings into urban settings. If we can create these women-led collaborative community spaces, we can perhaps stem the tide or improve that situation. The next observation that I had is that CSR has been the core driver for us for the last 10 years, out of the last 17. The first 7 years were philanthropic endeavors. Our founder, Tony, and then her friends from the US, some corporates as well, give us grants. Going forward, we'd like to push that envelope as well and look at ESG aligned projects and programs, because that is now becoming one of the big things which is coming up, and I would like to hear more from our partners. I heard people who are working in the green economy. I see people working in the honeybee networks. So that would become very important. The third point is that bringing the digital and physical worlds together, because one of the things which is very big this year is AI, and everybody is saying that okay, now digital is equal to AI. So I would like to disagree with that and say that internet is much larger than social media and AI is not digital. What the library does is provide that safe space for collaboration. One of the examples which I also heard at Gijgar was that the frequent users of the library, people who are staying at the library till closing time and even beyond, are youngsters who are preparing for competitive exams. Now, in a congested or an underserved area, if you have a safe space where boys and girls can study together to achieve their career goals, that I think is a major criteria for success. I think the Coforge library enables us to do that in Noida. The fourth point, which I want to end with, is using the Instagram reel lingo. We are in the collab universe, so it's not that partnering is an option anymore. Partnering is a must. So we need to be partnering in achieving our joint objectives. So whether it's with the communities which want us to help them, with the corporates who want us to work with them to be compliant of the CSR and the ESG goals, with the public authorities which want our expertise, like they are in UP, where I think we have 8 state libraries which are looking at us to help them make it more accessible to people. So this is the way forward. So collab is the way forward. It's happening everywhere. And I believe that our mission, which originally started off as libraries and supported by sustainable livelihoods, is now libraries which create sustainable livelihoods. And I think that piece is still here, even in the in the world of climate change, even in extremely stressed out global environment. But the confidence which I'm seeing in this room, the kind of passion and power that I see in this room, makes me very confident that we will be sustaining for a very long time. Thank you so much.